When I was in kindergarten, I wanted to be a princess. In second grade, a race car driver. In fifth grade, I wanted to be an obstetrician. And in ninth grade, I decided I'd like to be a teacher. I guess I always assumed I would go to college, but the process of getting there and what I would major in were not always as clear. And as far as I know, there aren't many colleges that are offering classes in race car driving. My college-bound career started online. Just like everything else in the fall of 2020, days spent on computers, logging off at the end of school, and back on for college-bound in the afternoon. I wasn't super excited to do more Zooms, but college-bound was different. Class always felt fun and full of useful skills and information. Coaches and managers were very active and constantly reaching out, even when I was not reaching back out to them. I always felt comfortable. College-bound class felt like being with friends again. I've always been a joiner, willing to try new things. If I don't try, then how will I know if I like something? My high school has given me multiple opportunities to become involved. I was elected vice president of the choir, now president. I was in Future Business Leaders of America, or FBLA for short. I was in National Honor Society, Game Changers, and almost every single theater program my school has to offer. I even played on the golf team. My high school is also where I began to develop an interest in journalism. I joined my school's newspaper as a staff reporter. Later, I became visual editor-in-chief and photography editor. I helped out with my school's yearbook, where I later became a TikTok director for our social media pages. I even joined my school's media club, KRHS, which is pretty much our own little student-ran radio station, which is really cool, but we also run our social media pages. I was also later elected general manager. I was really stressed out. We've been living through the pandemic for over a year. I was overworked and burnt out. My mental health definitely began to suffer. My college-bound coach, Kat, was always there for me, offering support and the opportunities for connection that I wouldn't have had otherwise. Whether we were working through ACT prep or talking about what was going on in my life, Kat really helped me keep my head above the water. In addition to my activities at school, I've been working at the Missouri Historical Society for the past couple of years. I was a part of the Teens Make History program. It's a paid internship that gives teenagers the opportunities to see what's happening behind the scenes of a museum, which is surprisingly a lot. We also got to work on projects with the Missouri Historical Society and their partners. I worked with a team to create an exhibit called The Battle at Home, Veteran Homelessness. The goal of this project was to shine a light on veteran homelessness in St. Louis. We really wanted to challenge the misconceptions people may have about homelessness and to offer some steps that can be taken to try and tackle the issue in our city. The most impactful part of this experience for me was conducting an oral history project about Sergeant DeWandell Smith. A St. Louis native, DeWandell Smith served in the U.S. military from 1990 to 2010. Through hours of conversation with Sergeant Smith, interviews with the St. Patrick Center and the VA, we introduced Sergeant Smith's story and that of 100 other veterans to the St. Louis community. In July of 2022, the exhibit opened. It was surreal to open an exhibit at the age of 17. Not a lot of 17-year-olds can say that. Though it was only originally supposed to be there temporarily, the Historical Society has extended the exhibit through January of 2025. So you guys should definitely go check it out. It's at You guys should go check it out, though. It's it's at Soda's Memorial. And I'm so glad I had a chance to meet with him and to tell his story. The experience really solidified my love of storytelling. The week of the exhibit opening, I was in Fairfax, Virginia, for the Washington Journalism and Media Conference. I was one of 300 students from across the country chosen as a national youth correspondent. We attended talks by real-life journalists, people from the Washington Post, the New York Times, and even National Geographics. I learned from some of the best public relations executives, photojournalists, and producers in the nation. I've been the only female on my team at KRHS, and I was very aware of the challenges of being a woman in journalism, a traditionally male-dominated field. So I was pleasantly surprised by how many women there were in the room, but I was still one of the few women of color. During the conference, we participated in a cover story contest. I was a writer for the Tampa Bay Times, and my topic was COVID. I created a photo exhibit, a timeline that moved through the pandemic. And I won the contest. Thank you. I don't really think people expected someone who looked like me to win. I know that at least for the time being, I have to work harder than some of my counterparts to prove that I belong, because I do. But it doesn't have to be that way forever. I know that the more that young Black girls see people that look like them in journalism, the more things are to change. As a national youth correspondent, I had the opportunity to spend a day on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. I got to meet with Cori Bush, the first African-American woman from Missouri to serve in the House of Representatives. We talked about a number of things, but we spent most of our time together talking about homelessness in St. Louis. We talked about my project at the History Museum, and she encouraged me to keep telling stories about people who are often unseen and unheard. Over the years, I've set my sights on many careers: race car driver, obstetrician, teacher, princess. But now I'm 18, and I know that I want to be a journalist. I want to tell the stories of people who have been traditionally unheard and unseen. It can be overwhelming at times and competitive, but I know that I have to push through it to become the best storyteller that I can be, not just for me, but for my community. My name is Danielle Hanks. I am a 2023 graduate of Rittner High School, and in the fall, I will be attending the University of Missouri to pursue my passion for journalism. M-I-Z. You guys can do a lot better than that. M-I-Z. Thank you.